Okay, so here's another project that some of you guys can get involved in, especially if you like growing plants and you like growing them indoors over the winter time. Even though here, up in northern Florida, it does get kind of cold, so I am going to bring them in. And this is not wholly my own idea. I mean, I got some good ideas off of YouTube videos with other guys doing it, like this light bar, and there are different YouTube videos for making these if you want a tabletop version. Well, I didn't want a tabletop version because I really have no tabletop indoor to put it on, and I really wanted to clear my workbench up. Well, I need to clean a lot of it up. One of these days I'll do that. But in either case, I got some 1-inch PVC here, and I made this standing model, self-standing model, and on the bottoms I just put the little end caps, and I did grind down the where's the one I had one here? Oh, there it is. It's got some pretty heavy writing on it, so if you got a floor inside that you don't want to scratch up, take it to a wire wheel or some sandpaper and get that all smoothed off. I bought these in a pack of 5. They were cheaper than singles. So, like I said, I use Schedule 40, 1-inch. I wouldn't recommend going any smaller than that. It'll get too funky. And, it's not as cheap as you might think. Once you get done buying, the 40 feet of PVC, well, like I said, this one's a little bit much. But a standalone unit is nice. And then I bought this indoor closet shelving. I bought a 4-foot section of it, and I cut it down, and then I just snipped with tin snips. I knocked this out of the way so that it wouldn't move around. And I guess you could screw it on. You could even turn it over so that this lip is up if you don't want to push things off. And then instead of wrapping the chain around the top, I use these small hooks, and since it's Schedule 40, it's pretty thick stuff, and I can hang the light. So anyway, that's my stand, and actually it's pretty sturdy. I've had it together. Now for the light, instead of using the fluorescent lights, which I don't think produce enough light, and actually these plants here sitting out here in the shade were not getting enough sun, and a lot of them are starting to just die because there wasn't enough light and too much shade. So what I did here is I got a dryer tube. This is, the round thing that goes onto your dryer and out the door or whatever. And you just open it up a little bit, and it's quite hard to open it up. It doesn't want to form from the round. And then I went to a hardware store and I bought this little fixture, a double light fixture, which these are the type of things that you put into drywall, the butterfly that snaps shut. And for the hanging end of it, whoops, I just use these indoor ceiling hooks and put them on with a butterfly and then a nut. I used around a 4-foot, just regular lamp cord that I had laying around. And you really don't need a ground fault, or, well, I can't say that. That's kind of dangerous. If you can ground it, go ahead and ground it. You can ground it to the chassis right here, or the nut up top by putting an eyelet on it. I'm not that worried about electrocuting myself. And then I got these 150 watt, what are they? They're the 40s, I'm trying to read it here, 2700 Kelvin. Anyway, they're extremely bright. So let me go ahead and set this up real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like once I got it all put together. And yeah, I got to get that in there. All right, anyway, let's see if this will work. Should be able to get it all in. So we've got adjustment here on the chain. This is a little bit heavier chain than what you're probably going to need, and it's just something I had laying around. and you're going to need a good pair of bolt cutters to cut this stuff. But you can buy thinner chain and go from there. This doesn't weigh anything. I mean, it just weighs absolutely nothing. So what I want to do is I kind of want to just tie off the wiring on this, and there might be a better way to do this eventually. I might try to run some kind of wire hangers on this, but right now I just want it out of the way so that I can swing freely and also have it look a little bit nicer when it's in the house. Of course, it'll be out of sight and it'll be in a corner somewhere, but I want to keep that just loose enough and on the side that we can later on, if the light needs to be adjusted, which for my purposes it'll probably stay right around where it's at because I've got the propagation station. So I just want to get this all cleaned up, make it look pretty good, and kind of hide the wires too. That'll make things a little bit nicer. Like I said, if you're inside, I think we can let that swing freely. Just like that. And then cut off the access so you don't have all those stupid little things hanging out there. Just any pair of diags will do it. There. And that wire's been rolled up for quite a while, so it needs to relax a little bit too. And there we go. There's our light. And here's our propagation station. Now you can do this a lot of different ways. You can set it up under there. You can raise it, lower it. Now these bulbs don't get very hot at all. I mean, you can almost touch them, so there's not a lot of heat being produced. And that's it. Now the other thing you might want to do is get a switch for the light, so you don't have to constantly plug it in and plug it out. But there it is. Okay. Nice bright light. We can add a couple more plants over here to the side. And yeah, that's really, really bright in there. So there it is. Relatively cheap. I mean, it's under $100, but it is pretty custom, which will suit my purposes. And like I said, you can bring it in for a heck of a lot less than that. I think the most expensive part were the bulbs, which cost me about, I don't know, I think they were about $12 a piece. So that was expensive. You know, this stuff here, that was cheap, and this has got a nice reflective value too. So you know, and basically you don't have to glue these. I mean, I did not glue any of this PVC together. I just kind of, hit it together and everything, and it stays very tight. Now, I wouldn't want to pick the whole thing up by up here. It'll probably come undone, maybe. But if you grab it under here and pick it up, I've moved it about 3 times already. It's fine. And if you want, you can glue one side, or I don't know. I wouldn't glue any of it really. So anyway, there you go, gents. Another project completed. Something else that you can do. This isn't really hard stuff. All you need is a couple wire nuts if you're going to do a 2-wire, a 3-wire. Just under this nut here, what you want to do is get an eyelet. One of these, where are they? I got some big ones somewhere. Something like this on a third wire, or any other type of eyelet like that, and you can put it right under the bolt on the chassis, and that can be your ground wire. It's a good safety precaution to have a ground there. So yeah, if you can do it, do it. I just didn't happen to have a three-prong wire laying around. I might have it, but I didn't feel like digging for it. So you can do all kinds of things with the PVC, and really, if you want to go bigger or anything like that, 1.25 inches would be nice too. But it's going to cost a bit more. So, alright, there it is. Another idea to keep yourself busy.